once Tiffany and I got back on the move, it really didn't allow for us to spend as much time and put as much energy into our relationship. I don't think the love really dispersed. I just think it was just like we weren't feeding the relationship.
Might be the type of person that never like really settles with somebody. Maybe he's like a, he's like a bee going from flower to flower to flower.
You have to understand you're not going to get anybody that's perfect because you're not perfect. So understand that there's some certain things that you will compromise in choosing that partner. But as long as the core values, the values that are most important to you, that person, marks off on that list, then you good.
Child, I hate to be the one to break it down to Ms. JHud, but girl, didn't we warn you this man was nothing but trouble? Word on the street is that Common might have already moved on and left Jennifer Hudson blindsided, and the way it's all coming out is beyond messy. Like, how is it that just days ago he was out here publicly praising her, smiling like he finally found the one, and now whispers are saying he's got another woman warming his sheets at night?
Jenny Jen still kicking it. That's part one. And part two is, do you ever see yourself married one day?
So as far as Jenny Jen,
I love Jenny.
Absolutely, we are together, and I just appreciate her as a partner, as a woman, as an artist, as a human being. She's a special individual, and man, I'm just grateful for her. I thank God, and yes, we are good. Marriage is something that if I were to get married, then Jennifer is the person.
Oh, she the prototype?
She is but she's not only the prototype, she is the person.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's one of those things where I'm like always looking at my life and saying, okay, because that's a strong choice to make,
Absolutely.
And
not to be taken light.
Not only that, but folks are claiming he's allegedly been talking behind Jen's back too, throwing shade after already sneaking around. Is this some bitter revenge just because she supposedly turned down his proposal last year? Or is Common trying to flip the script before more rumors surface about him secretly playing for the other team?
Why can't anybody just be honest? They're waiting for Chrissy Teigen to get plastic surgery and end up Jackie O so that they can be roommates and make musicals together. Let's just be real.
Okay.
He'd rather spend time with John Legend than any of these bitches.
Either way, this tea is hot and it's dripping everywhere. Because let's be real, if there's one thing nobody can deny about Common, it's that his track record with women is stacked. I'm talking A-list heavy hitters: Serena Williams, Taraji P. Henson, Tiffany Haddish, Erykah Badu, Kim Jones, Ava DuVernay, Simone Biles-Bozeman, Jaguar Wright, Angela Rye. Like, the man has dated some of Hollywood's creme de la creme. But here's the kicker. Not a single one of these women stuck around. And the narrative that's followed him for years, Common just isn't built to keep a woman, no matter how good she is. He's even admitted it himself. Common once confessed that when the honeymoon phase wears off, he loses interest, checks out emotionally, and dips without warning. He straight up said he's addicted to the chase. He loves the high of fresh romance, not the grind of commitment.
I found myself in what was called love addiction. My therapist broke it down was like that feeling of being like, oh, I'm in love, and this that honeymoon period that people call it. I was addicted to that feeling.
And when the thrill fades, so does he. That's his pattern, over and over again. So now people are looking at Jennifer Hudson like, sis, did you really think your glow, your talent, and your charm were gonna magically change a man who's been moving this way for decades? Because if history's any clue, Common's love life stays unpredictable, and JHud might just be learning that the hard way.
And he says the work he's doing on himself will help him fulfill a lifelong dream. And you write a lot about you want to be a husband one day. You have a rather famous relationship coach.
Oh yeah, yes, Michelle Obama. She has definitely helped talk me through just certain moments of relationships. We had conversations, and she has given me a lot of wisdom. But one great thing that she told me as I was going through this journey was that you have to understand you're not going to get anybody that's perfect because you're not perfect. So understand that there's some certain things that you will compromise in choosing that partner. But as long as the core values, the values that are most important to you, that person, marks off on that list, then you good.
She gave you some good advice there.
That's good wisdom.
That's some really good wisdom.
Girl, the Delulu is real with this one. But in her defense, when Jennifer Hudson first got with Common, he swore up and down that therapy had changed him. He even went on record saying he finally felt like he could be husband material. And get this, he flat out told interviewers that if he ever tied the knot, it would be with Jennifer Hudson. Big promises, right? But now fans are side-eyeing the situation hard because little cracks are starting to show. People have noticed subtle shifts. Fewer public appearances, weird changes in body language when they are spotted together, and cryptic posts from Jennifer that sound like coded messages. And then, boom, whispers pop up that Common's already entertaining somebody new. Allegedly, he's been seen out and about without Jen, looking a little too friendly with other women. Nothing confirmed yet, but let's be real. This is Common we're talking about, and his reputation speaks volumes. But what really has the streets buzzing is the claim that he's been telling people he can't stand Jennifer anymore. Like, hold up, what went down behind closed doors to make him flip like that? Some insiders are saying it all ties back to the rumors that Jen rejected his proposal a few months ago. Apparently, Common wanted to lock it down, but Jennifer pumped the brakes, telling those close to her that marriage just wasn't in her plans. And honestly, can you blame her?
We both have professions. Well, I think once Tiffany and I got back on the move, it really didn't allow for us to spend as much time and put as much energy into our relationship. I don't think the love really dispersed. I just think it was just like we weren't feeding the relationship. And as you said, neither one of us is gonna stop. Like we both care about our crafts and what we do. And we care about love too and partnership, but I think, the energy that has been put into our careers and continuing to want to do the things that we do for ourselves and for the people, is like, it was hard for me to balance all of that and keep the relationship.
Sources say she hesitated for two major reasons. First, the obvious one. Common has lived up to his name when it comes to women. The man's history is an open book, and it's filled with high-profile romances that never lasted. Jennifer reportedly worried that she'd just be another name on his list if she rushed into marriage. Second, she was scarred from her messy past with David Otunga. That toxic relationship left her cautious about commitment, and some claim she still believed marriage just wasn't meant for her.
I mean, it was weird how it ended.
How did it end?
It was weird. I would just say this. It's like you remember when you was a kid?
Yeah.
And you be on a play date?
Yeah.
And y'all like playing and having a good time? And then all of a sudden, y'all like sliding down the slide and you turn around and you go, where did they go? Where did they go? And you see them like waving at you and they mama carrying them and they like, bye. That's what it was. Like, hey, we was playing.
Fun.
We was having fun. Why you stop the fun?
Why do you stop the fun?
But here's where it gets messy. Jennifer knew exactly who she was dealing with from the start. Common's business has been public gossip for years, so why suddenly act shocked about his track record? That's why people are saying if she really turned him down, it's less about not knowing his history and more about her not trusting that this relationship would stand the test of time. Either way, Chile, this is not looking good for Jen and Common's love story. Jennifer Hudson reportedly made a vow after her messy breakup with David Otunga. No more rushing into commitments, no more hasty forever promises, and definitely no walking back into another toxic situation. And when Jen calls that relationship toxic, we already know it carried some heavy baggage. Sources say Common tried to calm her fears, reassuring her that this time he was serious, that he was ready to build something lasting, but Jen wasn't budging. According to insiders, Common told her flat out that despite his long list of exes, he was in this relationship for keeps. But for Jennifer, it was deja vu. She'd already spent 9 years engaged before, and she wasn't about to risk ending up in another broken marriage, left starting all over again. Some say that refusal created a rift that never healed, and Common may have finally realized there was no real future in sight. But oh baby, that's not even the juiciest part of this tea. Because now, people are whispering that the real reason Common supposedly couldn't stand Jen anymore is because he doesn't even really like women like that. Allegedly, he just got tired of pretending. And guess who stirred this pot before? His ex, Jaguar Wright. She once came forward saying she wished the world knew the real truth about Common. And according to her, that truth is wild. She claimed Common doesn't actually love black women at all, but instead uses them socially for clout, always chasing status at their expense. Whew, Jaguar even went further, dropping the bomb that Common actually prefers to be with men and that every woman he's dated knows this deep down. She even pointed out something fans can't unhear now. Despite his long list of high-profile romances, none of his famous exes has ever spoken about what he's like in the bedroom. Not once. Isn't that suspicious? Now, maybe these women are just private, respectful, and don't want to kiss and tell, or maybe Jaguar was spilling the uncomfortable truth. Could it really be that Common's attraction leans elsewhere, and he's just been keeping up appearances all these years?
But I mean, I just wish Lonnie would tell the truth, be bisexual.
Allegedly, that's the word going around, and it's got everybody looking at his love life sideways. Now, this right here is where the story takes a wild left turn. Somebody came forward with firsthand tea and chile. It's messy. According to their story, a friend's husband was at a big Hollywood event this past summer with his wife who works in the industry. And get this, Common allegedly spent almost an entire hour that night chatting up this man exclusively while his wife was busy handling the event. The gag? The guy had no clue who Common even was until his wife later filled him in. Oh, and did I mention? The man is white, fine as ever, model-type looks. Fast forward to the end of the night, around 3 a.m., when the man's wife texted him to meet her outside. That's when Common allegedly hit him with, "So, what are you doing later tonight?" The man said, going home with my wife." And boom, instant awkwardness. He swears up and down there was no misunderstanding in tone, that the connotation was exactly what it sounded like. He felt like Common was low-key trying to shoot his shot. Now, folks have been whispering for years that Common struggles with his sexuality. Some even speculate it stems from deep trauma, claiming he was allegedly taken advantage of by a man in the past. If true, that could explain why he seems conflicted when it comes to connecting with women. Again, nothing confirmed, but the speculation has been around forever, and stories like this just keep fueling the fire. But wait, because the mess doesn't stop with Common. Some people are flipping the script and saying maybe Jennifer Hudson is part of the problem too. Let's not forget her history with men hasn't exactly been spotless either. Her relationship with David Otunga was a whole roller coaster. And at one point, David even accused Jen of stepping out on him with music producer Molly Music. Jennifer never confirmed whether anything romantic happened, but things definitely turned ugly. In fact, she even brought it up in a protective order against David. She claimed his jealousy got so out of control that he called her repeatedly while she was at a Chicago recording session, and when he couldn't reach her, he allegedly went as far as having their son try to film her just to prove she was messing around with Molly. Talk about a toxic situation gone nuclear. So here we are, with people questioning Common's truth while others question Jennifer's loyalty. Whoo, baby! This story just keeps getting nastier the deeper you dig. Jennifer Hudson once claimed that David Otunga's behavior toward her, and even their son, had become aggressive and threatening. But David clapped back hard, saying Jen was flat out lying. According to him, she only got away with painting him as the villain because she had more influence in the industry, while he was left taking all the heat. He even argued that he had been their child's primary caregiver from day one, since Jennifer was constantly traveling for work. Basically, his story flipped hers upside down, directly contradicting her claims in those legal documents where she insisted she was the one holding it all down. David didn't stop there. He also accused Jennifer of being the one who pressured him into putting family above his own career, only to later drag him by calling him a freeloader. And because Jennifer had accused him of some pretty serious things, the police had no choice but to step in. They launched an investigation. But in the end, David was cleared a few months later. Jennifer eventually dropped her protective order, but only after David agreed never to step foot on her property again. Even so, David stood firm that Jen was twisting the story. He claimed she was using her fame and power to smear his name, when in reality, she was the one wearing the mask. According to him, Jennifer Hudson wasn't the sweet, angelic woman the public adored. She had a much darker side that people didn't see. And now, some are speculating that maybe Common got a front row seat to that same dark side and decided he couldn't deal with it anymore. To make things even messier, whispers online say Jennifer allegedly started looking down on Common, supposedly believing he was beneath her because she makes more money. Whew! If that's true, then that's a cold twist, considering she walked into this relationship fully aware of who Common was, finances, and all. But here's the thing, nobody really knows the full truth. Did Common cheat? Is he falling back into his old ways of chasing the next thrill? Or is Jennifer the real problem here, showing the same controlling patterns David claimed years ago? Or could it all just be smoke and mirrors with JHud and Common still together, laughing at the rumors while the rest of us dissect every crumb? Now let's talk about the streets, because baby, the fans are divided. Some are riding hard for Jennifer, swearing that she's just unlucky in love and that Common is the real problem. They're calling him out for having the same pattern over and over, chasing after women who shine bright, getting bored once the spark fades, and then dipping out without looking back. Folks are saying Jennifer deserves better and that Common's whole therapy changed me, I'm ready for marriage storyline was nothing but smoke and mirrors. But then you've got the other side, and whoo, they're dragging Jennifer. Some people are convinced she's the toxic one, pointing back to all the drama with David Otunga. They're saying if two different men are hinting at her being controlling or having a dark side, maybe there's truth in it. One comment even went viral saying, Jen might look like an angel to the fans, but behind closed doors, she's probably running the show with an iron fist. That's the kind of energy people are bringing into this debate. And of course, there are the conspiracy theorists who think this whole thing is deeper than just relationship drama. They're pointing at Common's history, the whispers about his sexuality, and Jaguar Wright's bombshell claims, saying Jennifer may have known more than she let on. Some believe she turned down his proposal not just because of his reputation with women, but because she may have felt something wasn't adding up about his private life. Meanwhile, others are clowning both of them, saying this relationship always looked like a PR stunt that was never gonna last anyway. Like one fan tweeted, Common and JHud were never giving forever vibes. This was always gonna end messy. At the end of the day, it's chaos. Half the crowd wants Jennifer to pack her bags and move on for good, and the other half wants her to humble herself because they believe she pushed a good man away. And then you have the messy middle who just want the truth about Common's real preferences to finally come out because they're convinced this back and forth with women is just a cover-up for something bigger. One thing's for sure, this story has everybody watching every little move they make, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Now, if you thought the fans were messy, wait until you see how the blogs and media are playing with this story. Every outlet seems to be spinning it in a different direction. And chile, the narratives are wild. Some gossip blogs are painting Jennifer Hudson as the heartbroken victim, saying she gave her all to Common only for him to allegedly sneak around and humiliate her. They're pulling up her past trauma, her failed engagement to David, and the way she's been open about struggling to find real love, all to make her look like the one who got blindsided yet again. Those headlines scream things like, poor Jen betrayed by Common's wandering eye, and you already know that pulls in sympathy clicks. But other outlets, they're dragging Jennifer just as hard. They're framing her as the one with the real problem, bringing up David Otunga's claims, resurfacing her old court filings, and basically painting her as the toxic diva behind the scenes. One tabloid even ran the headline, Jennifer Hudson, America's sweetheart, or Hollywood's nightmare girlfriend. Whew, the shade is heavy. And then you've got the media stirring up Common's side, focusing on the sexuality rumors that just won't go away. Some blogs are reviving Jaguar Wright's infamous comments, while others are pushing new blind items about him being seen out too friendly with men at late-night events. Instead of protecting him, they're almost daring him to come out and address it. And the more he stays silent, the louder the speculation grows. But here's where it gets interesting. Mainstream media is walking a fine line. They're reporting on the split, but they're not touching the sexuality rumors with a 10-foot pole. They keep things safe, chalking it up to different priorities and relationship strains, while the gossip world is eating him alive. Some fans think the press is protecting Common because he's respected in Hollywood circles, while Jennifer, as a black woman, gets thrown to the wolves whenever there's drama. Others argue it's the opposite, that Jennifer's the one being shielded because she's the bigger star right now with the Jennifer Hudson show. Either way, the coverage is split right down the middle. Heartbreak victim versus toxic diva, misunderstood lover versus habitual cheater, private man versus closeted star. The media is fanning the flames, and both Jennifer and Common are stuck in the middle of a storm they probably can't control anymore. Now here's where Jennifer Hudson herself steps into the spotlight because people swear she's been speaking loud without ever saying a word. Fans have been dissecting every post she's made lately, and let me tell you, the clues are juicy. From cryptic captions about protecting her peace to subtle likes on shady comments aimed at Common, folks are convinced Jen is telling her side of the story the quiet way. On top of that, people notice she hasn't been seen out with Common as much, and when she does pop up in public, her energy is different, confident, unbothered, like she's already moved on emotionally. Some even think she's using her talk show to drop subliminals, slipping in quotes about self-worth, strength, and letting go of things that don't serve you. And every time she does it, the internet blows up asking, was that a shot at Common? Meanwhile, Jennifer hasn't actually addressed the breakup rumors head-on, which only adds more fuel to the fire. Fans are split. Some say she's keeping it classy by refusing to air her business, while others feel she's milking the attention by staying mysterious. Either way, her silence is speaking louder than words. And everybody's watching.
Is Common in this book? Did you put Common in here?
There's a lot of common men in there,
A lot of common men.
but he's not in that book.
He's not in there.
No, no.
How were you?
I've learned,
Yes.
everybody don't need to be in your story. Let them tell it.
So.
But he didn't, like, that was a great relationship. So I hadn't, like, this is like stuff that went,
Yeah. Yeah.
hard
But his was a
times.
good relationship.
That was a good relationship.
Do you care that he's in another relationship with Jennifer Hudson?
No, I love Jennifer. I hope they're
Yeah.
having fun.
Yeah.
That's not girl.
As for Common, he's keeping things quiet too, which makes it even messier. The fact that both of them are refusing to clear the air is leaving fans to connect the dots on their own, and we already know how wild the internet gets when there's a mystery to solve. So now the big question is, are Jennifer and Common really done? Or are they just letting the rumors swirl while still being together behind closed doors? With their history, their baggage, and all these messy allegations flying around, it's hard to know what's real and what's just talk. But one thing's for sure, when the truth finally comes out, it's gonna shake the table in a big way. But you know what? I'm dying to know your thoughts on this drama. So sound off in the comment section below. Don't forget to hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe so you don't miss the next update. And trust me, you'll want to stick around because the next video on your screen has even more jaw-dropping celebrity drama you do not want to miss.